Harpers Ferry in West Virginia is a quaint town with tourist shops, restaurants, and a National Historic Park. Many of the buildings have been standing for more than 150 years. But Harpers Ferry was different in 1859, says Park Ranger David Fox.
It was a noisy, dirty, polluted industrial city in what was then Virginia, the largest slave state in America.
It was also home to one of only 2 weapons factories, or armories, in the United States. John Brown, a fervent abolitionist, planned to seize it. Late on October 16th, Brown and his men marched into Harpers Ferry.
Their intention was to set up a provisional government for the United States where slavery would be outlawed, and no matter of gender or race, everyone would vote. They would be treated equally.
Brown seized the armory, the arms depot, and a railroad bridge. 18 people lost their lives. After 36 hours, Brown was captured in this building, the Armory Firehouse. It's the only armory building still standing.
To some people, this building is the scene of a crime where a murderer and a traitor was captured and brought to justice. To others, this monument is nothing less than a monument to freedom on a battlefield.
John Brown was tried and found guilty of treason and murder. He was executed on December 2nd, 1859. The events were closely followed in local newspapers.
It was very well covered. And one of the interesting things about studying John Brown is that it seems like everybody in the Western world had something to say about him.
Historian William Rasmussen is curator of The Portent, John Brown's Raid in American Memory, at the Virginia Historical Society in Richmond. He says even French intellectuals weighed in on John Brown.
Victor Hugo, who was greatly respected around the world, saying, when we think that this fighter for Christ is going to be executed by the American Republic, we recoil with horror.
The exhibit shows how African Americans kept the story of John Brown's raid alive. In the 1970s, African American artist Jacob Lawrence did a series of prints called The Legend of John Brown. The prints perpetuate the image of Brown as a martyr. Spencer Crew, a professor of American history at George Mason University, says John Brown stands apart from other abolitionists.
He is one of the only people we can think of who made such a level of sacrifice for, one, trying to end slavery, but also on behalf of helping slaves try to gain their freedoms.
Although Brown is remembered for his willingness to give his life so others might be free, he was also willing to kill for that cause. Some believe his execution was justified.
A large segment of the population thinks he was a lunatic and a criminal.
In Harpers Ferry, the issue still seems relevant. Park Ranger David Fox.
When is it right to use violence? As one biographer put it, how far can force and violence go toward peace and goodwill?
Those questions are still being asked here in Harpers Ferry and around the world. Susan Logue, VOA News, Harpers Ferry, West Virginia.